Welcome everybody to a new analysis of Trinomic. In this video, I'm going to describe the situation on Adobe. I decided to do this video because 3 months ago, roughly, I issued an analysis on Adobe by saying that investors and traders had to be really careful regarding the setup of the stock because we still have a situation in which a T plus 5 yearly downward cycle is turned into a negative one, especially if we look at this low made on the 28th of September 2023. We have at the breakup of that low with this candle occurred on the 15th of March 2024. And because here we were having a T plus 5 yearly downward cycle, the break occurred after 116 bars. So therefore I was saying in that video that for the rest of the time of a T plus 5 we could have a downward trend. So now I'm issuing this analysis to make the point of the situation and to still say that we technically have to go uh, below this low, which is at $433.97. So why that? First of all, if we want to gauge the time of this first wave of the T plus 5, we have 169 bars. So 169 bars is a T plus 5 hybrid. So basically it's a T plus 4 hybrid, so 6 month cycle. We divided this T plus 4 in the first normal, let's say T plus 4 duration, which is 149 days, plus a Bayerton, which is a 3 degrees less extra time, which is attached to the T plus 4, which is a T plus 1, 21 bars, and therefore we get 169 bars. But this period of time, 169 bars, is not a T plus 5, it's just a T plus 4. So basically here, we don't have enough time to conclude this T plus 5. But instead, we have add a new T plus 4. So we have add a new T plus 4 that started on the 31st of May 2024, and we have add the first impulse or wave, which was T plus 2, 44 bars. So this is a positive downward cycle, the first T plus 2. And now and subsequently, we have add another T plus 2, a negative T plus 2, because the low from which ended was lower compared to the low from which it started. So this is a negative cycle. And the second negative cycle um, had a duration of another 44 bars. So basically, all of them in line with the maximum duration of a T plus 2 or a monthly cycle. So first monthly cycle, second monthly cycle. So the sum is potentially a T plus 3. So now what we can expect here is an impulse to begin eventually a T plus 3, because we have the condition, the sufficient condition to have a T plus 3. And if we gauge the time from the second T plus 4 until the candle of Friday, 4th of October, we have 88 bars, so which is close to the maximum duration, or really close to the maximum duration of a T plus 3, which is 89 bars. So here we might expect a T plus 3. But for the time being, the impulse was not really exciting. Um, and that's why here I put a T plus 2 with a question mark, because after this weekly cycle, so it's a 9 bar, here we have the sufficient and necessary condition to have just a T plus 2 at the moment, not a T plus 3. So given that we have 9 bars, we will need to watch carefully next week whether we will have an impulse to the upside to begin a new T or begin a new weekly cycle, or if that impulse will, so we will have to monitor how long this impulse will keep the price running, and whether we will go over the stop at $517.77. If the impulse will not, if the impulse will not reach this top first, and we will see a shape of this kind after a couple 2 or 3 days, well, the thing is that we will have the condition to continue the downtrend, and we need to continue the downtrend in order to do what? To close this T plus 5. Because it's true that we had an impulse, quite a significant impulse, and this also, let's say, could provoke some uh, wrong expectation of plus 35%. But you see that now we are retracing slowly to this point. If we drag the Fibonacci retracement, now we are on 61%. Okay, but if this, let's say, support, which is roughly in the area of $489, will not, let's say, produce an impulse on an uptrend that will firstly as to go over $517, then the target is this one. And I kept saying it because this is in line with according to the last analysis. So that is the target of $433.97. Okay, so you have to be now really, really careful about the situation. I removed this one. I removed some arrows just to clean up a little bit the chart. So let's remove also this one. So if we have a nearly downward cycle that turned into negative, now for the entire duration, which is up to 338 days, we will have to slowly or quickly, depends on how HFT will work, return into this area. How long do we have? So the time elapsed so far is 268 days. We have time until 338 days. So in order to return back to 400, here, back to $433, we have time until January 2025. 338 until end of January 2025. So by 31st of January 2025, the target is $433.97. Of course, here in the meantime, they can do whatever they want. So if we will see an impulse to the upside, then we can start a T plus 3. And in order to start a T plus 3, we need more time over this low to develop the cycle, but then be really careful because that would be the shape eventually that we can have. And if next week or in 2 weeks we will see a first impulse to the upside as said, but then a return into the area of $491 and then $486, this is the shape that we have to expect. And in order to reach the low in which the T plus 4 was developed, we still have to lose 12%. Okay, So be really careful. I wanted to make you aware of this situation as for the last analysis that I issued. And if you like the video and you think that this is a useful insight, you can always put a like to support our job. And eventually, if you wish, you can also subscribe to the channel to be notified as soon as possible about our analysis that we issue on a regular basis. So thanks for watching and see you to the next episode.